Hello, loves. How's everybody doing? I wanted to come on and do an energy update because I haven't done one in a while. Before I do that, healing circle, Monday, May 30th for the new moon. We're going to set intentions and really dive deep as we always do in our healing circle. Sorry, my cat's like tripping on stuff. And there is my tapping into intuition and higher guidance course, which is amazing. It's all about my journey. I teach from my perspective. That's what teachers do, right? How I created a better relationship with my intuition because I never listened to it and it was always so loud, but I always was like, this isn't right. And how to really connect to it and hear it. And it's beautiful. And all of my courses and classes have a channeled meditation / activation with them. And yeah, I love facilitating. Or if you want to work one-on-one with me, I have lots of offerings too. So just send me a private message and I can pass along my information if this is your first time seeing me or many times seeing me and you're interested. So the current energies, we are now in Gemini season, and Gemini is very like yin and yang, back and forth. Geminis get such a bad rap and I feel for them because it's an air sign. I am a Cancer sun, but I have a ton of Libra in my chart. So I have a lot of air in my chart. I'm all about balance, Libra. Makes sense. So we're in this energy right now of the pendulum. It's like we're trying to find this balance in our lives, in our energies and our emotions and everything. And what I've been seeing in my personally from my perspective, and people around me mirroring it back to me, is where before the waves may have been very up and down, the emotional waves, now there's still ones that are triggering, but what's happening is that pendulum's not swinging so far back and forth. So when the pendulum goes one way, if we go really, really high one way, where's it going to go? It creates that momentum and it swings back and forth. Our energy is becoming more balanced. And I feel as we come into the summer months of this year, 2022, 222, all about balance. Oh my gosh, it's all making so much sense now. We are going to come into more of a stasis. We're going to come into more of a calibration, mind, body, soul. We're going to really understand the keys to not react to things. Come from a place of unconditional love and not convince people of our narrative. And oh, perfect. I'm glad you needed this right now. And it's synchronistic that we are, all going through this at the same time. And it's really cool to watch this and almost take yourself out of your body when you're going through these situations that are very triggering. Whereas before you may have very much emotionally reacted, and it's okay if you emotionally react. The guidance I'm going to give you today is pull yourself out of that emotion as quickly as you can without bypassing it. Because we're human, we're going to have emotional reactions to things. It's when you step into your power and start asking yourself, why am I feeling this? And not just there, you dig to the root of why you're feeling it. I had that today. I felt my heart close off. Once I created such a good relationship with my intuition, I can really feel my heart when it closes off now. It almost feels congested. And that's my first sign that I'm shutting myself off, or I'm in like a reactionary phase. Even if I'm not reacting, there's something emotionally going on inside of me. And what I do is I just sit with myself and I ask myself why. And if I need to cry, I cry. There are a lot of emotions being released right now in this eclipse season. We had that beautiful eclipse portal with the full moon, and it kicked a lot of people's butts. And it's okay if it did that. This is uprooting all that stagnant energy within your system. This is allowing you to anchor more light into your physicality. So you raise your vibratory rate. Because really all that means in a physics type of manner is you're carrying less density. So you're vibrating at a higher rate. And we all know that the lower chakras, when there's trauma, when there's guilt, shame, fear, all those things, those hold a lot of density. So we need to work to unroot those and get those moving and get those flowing. And actually that's what I do in my healing circles. We work through all the chakras and balance them, and they're awesome. And when we get to a point where we can see ourselves where we are and facilitate this for ourselves, it's powerful. I came home today and I didn't even know why I was feeling something. Sometimes it's collective. I find for myself, when I have something deep coming up that I thought I'd transcended already, I just it really gets me. It's like, woo. And you're like, okay, why am I feeling this? I'm still human. And I know now, instead of before, I'd make myself really busy, or I'd run away, or I'd drink. Those are my old coping mechanisms. Now I come into myself. I laid on my couch. I have no kids at my house this weekend. Never happens. It's been months since I've had no children at home. At least one child is here all the time. And my cat laid right on my heart center. And I was like, she just knows. And I laid there and I just listened to a book online. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Sometimes you don't even need to like physically, consciously work through it. It's just opening up that channel to allow the energies to release, to allow the thoughts to release, to not allow the fears to take you down the rabbit hole. You have the power. All the power is in your mind. All of it. So stop giving it away to everybody else around you and come back into your mind. And it's so beautiful when you do, because you know what? You come back to a place of unconditional love. If you feel yourself getting bitter, if you feel yourself getting resentful, because we all do, we're human. Check yourself and be like, why am I feeling this way? How can I step into a place of unconditional love, without being a doormat, without allowing people to walk all over you, and in the same turn, understanding that they're mirroring back to you what you're feeling. I had a mirror circumstance yesterday that was like, it blew my mind. It would have, like 2 years ago or a year ago, if this would have happened, I would have lost my mind in this situation. Not lost my mind, but I would have been very triggered, and I probably would have said something or tried to force it. And I just left for a little bit. And I came home and I was like, oh, I'm not going back there. I'm not doing this anymore. And I came home and I sat with myself and I'm like, no, this is me. I control this. I create this. So how am I going to go back there and recreate it? And I did. And it was awesome. Like it was like it didn't even happen. I apologized for my part in it. And it was like, this is amazing. Instead of getting in our egos and being like, that person sucks, they're doing this. Come back to yourself and be like, how can I shift this in a space of unconditional love? How? Because there's always a way, and everybody's mirroring back to you what's going on the inside, or it's a leg in the 3D that's showing up to teach you something, to help you to transcend that pattern by acting and reacting differently than you would have in a past timeline. If that makes sense. I'm trying to really keep this to the Coles notes. It's really cool. So if you take life as sort of a science experiment like I do, and become really consciously aware of you, how you're feeling, you can shift your life so quickly. It's funny because my daughter, she is so blunt, which I love kids. She's like, Mom, you can't hide your emotions on your face. So we know when something's going on, and everybody else around you knows. And I'm like, I know. And it's actually a gift now because I'm aware of this. So I can shift it really quickly. Whereas before, people would think I was, I had a resting bee face. And it was just because I couldn't hide my emotions. I'm just very real. And yeah, it's a gift now that I've tapped into it and I understand how to utilize it to the highest potential, not to a lower potential where I want to control things or force things to be my way, which is control as well. I allow things to come to me. It's like you come back into that magnetic center in your heart and open your heart. I know for me, when I feel my heart get heavy and close off, I'm closing off my magnetic resonance. I'm closing off my attraction for miracles, and I'm losing out on these miracles in that moment. That being said, everything that happens was meant to happen because it happened. So don't go back and feel guilty. All you have right now is right now, this now moment, this 0 point. And ask yourself, how can I shift this now? Not by worrying about what you did in the past, making amends if you need to make amends for something, and making a better choice to move to the future. And that's your power. That's your magic. That is your consciousness at work. And this is exactly what higher consciousness is. It's not a place. It's not some resonance you need to get to where you're floating around in the ethers. It's about seeing yourself in the mirror of life around you and understanding your part is everything in the mirror of life around you, and bringing yourself back into your heart center in every moment and being like, if you're not acting out of a place of compassion and unconditional love for yourself, you're not doing it for other people. And don't be upset with yourself if you lose out for a moment, because I do it too. Like I have moments where I get bitter. I'm a human, but it's like I pull myself out where before it would have lasted, a long time and I would have been not nice because it was like my protection mechanism just to like shut down. Now I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to feel through these difficult feelings because remember, your brain and your body are here to protect you. Even if there's nothing to be protected from. They will look for red flags to protect you. Your body will feel things that may feel like a trauma that you've been through and put up your feelers and get your brain on high alert. And this is where you go into that animal brain and then you've almost like lost control because you get on the spiral. So just when you feel that way, when you feel that heart close off, when you feel your mind start racing, pull yourself back to right now. Breathe, meditate, go outside, stand barefoot if you can. I wouldn't recommend it in the winter because you might freeze your feet. But if you are super good with cold, go for it. Just come back into your breath and everything. Oh, yes. And Monica, let it flow. Exactly. We need to just be ourselves. And when we're resisting, we're persisting in that same energy because we're putting up a dam against it. And we're like, no. What we need to do is say yes and allow life to take us where it's going. The how is never up to us. Allow that bridge of incidents to unfold on its own. This has been my pattern to overcome in life, and I will be very transparent with everybody here. I like to predict things because, and I used to like to force things and make things happen on my timeline. Now I've learned it's about balancing my timeline with the timeline of God, source, universe, the timeline of my higher self. And allowing that bridge to come in rather than blocking my manifestations, blocking my goodness, my love, everything like that by forcing. So it's that internal power versus the force. Allow it to flow. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm gonna go meet my girlfriend. I'm gonna go have some fun. I choose to have fun today. That's a little mantra that I started to do when I was feeling depressed or a little down in moments. I am like, I choose joy. I'm gonna do something today that makes me happy. I'm gonna go laugh and I'm gonna go enjoy life. Anyway, I love you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.